and he wouldn't tell me. And I can't blame him. I never had a company send me such an elaborate onboarding email. They're not telling me stuff I want to hear. That's how you get almost double the pay.
All right, what we got today? It is January 7th, coming up on 9:22 a.m. Central Time. We are headed to a dock. We got a dock visit this morning for an account with Ryder Final Mile.
But yeah, so we got a dock visit this morning with an account that I'm looking into, and actually it's with Ryder Last Mile. And the catch of this one is they have an account here in Nashville, but there's also an account in Alabama that I'm going to be going after. My old manager ended up hitting me up saying he wanted to come back, and of course I would love to bring him back. So a lot of movement right now. We've got 2 trucks running today, both on the Lowe's account. One's doing strictly back of the store, and the other one's actually doing a commingle back of the store and the LPS, which I'll be talking about another day. But latest since my last video, a lot of movement, so much movement. Of course, the usual turnover. Had some guys no call, no show. It is the slow time of the year, with it being January. Something to note for this time of the year, this business industry. Peak season is that Thanksgiving, Black Friday, so about mid-November, early November, all the way through December. Once December comes and goes, once January comes, that is when things slow down tremendously. That's when things slow down. Trucks don't stop running. This is a year-round business, but things do get slow. And I love to call it survival of the fittest, because that is what it becomes. It becomes survival of the fittest. Only the best teams will run. If your teams are sloppy, they won't run. If they're not getting survey scores, they won't run. If they show up late, they're out of uniform, they will not run. They will not work. That's the best way to put it. But that is how it goes. It is survival of the fittest. If they're showing up out of uniform, late, not getting surveys, your teams will not run. And that's just how it goes. And so, of course, it's a slow season. Even if you are, sometimes they'll rotate contractors and whatnot. But I know Wayfair for us was short-lived. And they basically used and abused us. We ended up getting hit with the Wayfair peak season routes, 25 to 28 stops, guaranteed 12 to 14-hour days. And then as soon as things slowed down, they stopped running us. And so we started during their peak season. They literally just stopped running. So we got used and abused. But it's part of the business. You know, it's nothing personal to me. I'll never take none of this stuff personal. It's strictly business. And so that's basically how that went. But, of course, we're sticking it out with Lowe's, with Spirit Logistics. And, of course, with me having so many guys, though, and looking to grow and scale my business, I am on the hunt for other accounts, which is what led to me pursuing things with RES Logistics and Ryder Last Mile. And obviously looking to add and grow a few more trucks with Spirit Logistics. Some of the things we're dealing with as far as hurdles go, obviously turnover with the guys. We had some guys no call, no show, which I have 0 tolerance for. And sure enough, lo and behold, a few days later, the guys always come back. They always come back. And sure enough, I just had to let him know he's too unreliable. I had a no call. You think no call, no show 2 days in a row? And my policy is really one time. You do it one time, I'm really letting you go. Because I just don't have, like I said, I have no capacity for stuff like that. And yeah, so dealing with that, which is not really an issue, because like I said, you can either keep putting up with it, or you can just cut it off altogether. And again, I think that comes from a spot of just being confident in yourself and your business and what you're looking for. And it's just not something I'm willing to put up with. And so that's the latest on that with the guys. We got a lot of guys coming through the pipeline who do have previous experience, which is always a plus. I love to ask those qualifying questions. I will straight up ask guys, do you have experience delivering and installing gas appliances, washers and dryers? Have you ever taken a fridge apart before? I will ask guys that on the phone. And obviously, I hope they don't lie, because it'll show on the very first day. Be honest. You know, I'm willing to hop in the truck and train guys. But I picked up some guys who are also just scarred. Some guys are scarred from previous contractors that just weren't doing business right. And I just, of course, communication, not only communication though, follow through on your commitments. Everything I tell guys, I follow through on them. I have a pay rate structure. They know exactly what they're signing up for from day one. There's not a gap in expectations. And if there are, let's talk about it. I have no problem. I have no problem doing stuff like that. And so with that though, really excited for the business and where things are going right now. Just a lot of movement, a lot of stuff in the works. And it's basically like the calm before the storm. Getting worried about some really good accounts here and in my area that I'm going to be going for. But yeah, we're just stuck at this floating 2 to 3 truck range. We're going to keep pushing the guys through the pipeline. But this account right here that I'm headed to go visit is, of course, with, like I said, Ryder Last Mile. It's doing furniture and exercise equipment. And something I'll say about Ryder Last Mile, why I was so impressed with the just contract carrier recruiting process, I never had a company send me such an elaborate onboarding email. There's so many details that they basically leave you with no questions to ask, which is what I love. Because just tell me what it is. I already know the game. I already know the work and all the stuff. Just tell me what it is, and I'll go from there. They're not telling me stuff I want to hear. They're not, trying to hide the bond deduction. They're straight up coming right out front with it. I love that because not a lot of companies do that. And it was honestly the most elaborate carrier email I think I've ever actually gotten from any 3PL in the last 6 going on 7 years of doing this business. And really excited for that one. Like I said, I'm going to go visit the doc today. They actually won't even let you start the onboarding process without doing a doc visit, which is so similar to me and my process as not letting guys run in the truck without doing a meet and greet / orientation. So I'm all for it. I just see how they're moving. I'm all for it. Obviously, we've already talked about rate structure and stuff like that. I think it was averaging, the minimum was, let's get started with the numbers, my favorite part. Why they really got me is they honor a minimum. And of course, it's $700. I'm going to see if it's a 5 or 6 day week account because that's going to play a factor in that $700 a day. But that's the minimum. That's not even including, they have a fuel surcharge included with the rate structure. So this is a good account. Obviously, it's got me up and driving 35 minutes to go visit the doc. So obviously it's a good account and worth going for. So I'm really looking forward to this one. We've heard about some other stuff, of course, in another city with RAS Logistics that I'm looking forward to, and got some good guys lined up. And just going right now. I ended up hiring a new assistant, so I've got a new assistant. I have a meeting later on today with her just regarding the onboarding and recruiting process, and just getting her up to speed with that. But right now we're just moving and grooving. And like I said, I'm just really excited to see where the business is at and where it goes, because I'm just moving so different now, thinking about longevity and the long-term side of my business, which, like I said before, is not something that I did before. And just excited and looking forward to it. Something else I have been working on is building out the back end of my business and coming up with new processes and stuff. Whether it be guys requesting for days off, truck inspection and stuff. That's some of the new stuff I'm working on as well, especially as I start going for accounts that are not in my area, where I don't have the ability to just drive to the dock 15 minutes and look at the truck, visit the guys. You have to figure out ways to be in multiple places at once. That's how you also hold a standard. That's how you know your trucks are empty at the end of the day, when guys have to take a picture and do a truck check-in for them. Just stuff like that. So working on building some more back-end stuff for the business, which I'm also really excited for, because I know it's going to be crucial as I do start growing and scaling the business again. But yeah, that's it right now. As far as this account here and everything that's been going on here, actually with Lowe's, and why I can't stress enough, going back to it being survival of the fittest in that time of the year. The only three things you need to worry about, and your trucks will run. Be sure to write this down. Customer satisfaction survey. This is for any 3PL, any retailer, anybody. Customer satisfaction surveys, your on-time percentage, and your completion percentage. If you hit those three, your truck will run. I'm going to say it again. Your truck will run as long as you get those three metrics. Those are the three KPIs. KPI stands for Key Performance Indicator, which basically it just is a benchmark. It's the numbers that you need to be focused on for your business. And I don't care what dock you're on, what 3PL you're with, what retail you're delivering for, as long as you get those numbers, your truck will run. And stress it to your teams. If you're having a hard time getting your teams to get on the same page, you have to figure out a way to orient your business to fit what they want. Your guys want to get paid. So there you go. You pay them for good surveys. It's simple. It's very simple. If you want your guys to show up on time, you fine them for being late. Don't pay them for obviously doing something they should be doing anyway. That wouldn't make any sense. So that would be when you fine them for being late. Repercussions or incentives, or both. Just depending on what the situation is. But yeah, so that's what I end up doing. And that's really the latest. That's the latest as of right now. Really just running the business and doing the thing. Something else I really like that the Ryder recruiter ended up doing was actually giving me some insight on issues they're having with their current teams on their dock. And I just know it's basically it's a comfort issue. The current guys in the dock have gotten too comfortable and just apparently aren't doing stuff the way it's supposed to be getting done. And all I gotta say is I would hate to see me walk in and walk from the dock. That's all I gotta say. I would hate to see myself walk in and walking on the dock, because I will come in and do whatever it takes to have the best teams on the dock. It's just that simple. And I don't know many, or if any, that will compete with me. And that's just a mentality thing. Doesn't matter where I am, I will put so much energy and effort into this and do the things that you are not willing to do. And that's why I would hate to go against me. I would hate to have trucks competing against me on the same dock. And it actually just reminded me of a time I ended up meeting a contractor actually at a gas station. It was for an account, I think of like Ashley Furniture or something. And he was gatekeeping. He wouldn't tell me, I think I was just asking simple questions like where's the warehouse, or give me a contact number, or who's the 3PL. You know, I'm always going to ask the questions to figure out something. And he wouldn't tell me. And I can't blame him. I really can't blame him. I wouldn't tell me either. I would not tell me either, because I would hate to compete against me. I know we had a rough week last week on surveys and whatnot, here on the Lowe's account, but I'll throw a screenshot up and just so you can see where we're currently sitting at. We're tied for first out of, I think there's about 7 contractors that they have, at least in the picture, for surveys. And we're tied for first right now. And I mean, and that's just how we do it. Doing the little stuff, doing the little things, not only on the delivery, but also on the back end to actually even get the surveys. Texting every single customer after every stop. Because that's what it takes to get this stuff done and make your business look good. But so many people either one get comfortable or don't want to do the little extra. I'm going to do it every time just because I take pride in what I do and I take pride in my business. Not only that, but I pay my guys well enough that they also look forward to coming into the work. And I communicate everything with them. I lead my teams. We're all on the same page. They want those surveys just as bad as I do. They know if we don't get those surveys, we don't run. That's the incentive. If we don't get those surveys, we don't work. But that was just something I was thinking about. And just being relentless. Be relentless in your business. Not just in your business, but in your life. Because the same stuff, I say it all the time. The same stuff that shows up in your personal life is going to show up in your business as well. If you are not good at communicating, if you cut corners, if you don't take pride in your body, your health, and take any of that stuff serious, you're not going to take your business serious either. Don't think it's just going to magically, oh, now I want to start doing this and doing that. It's not going to change. It's a mindset shift that comes first before the things actually start to show in your life. And you might not even see the fruits for a little bit. You might not even see the fruits of the hard work for a little bit, but it'll come through. It'll come. Trust me. I know right now, I just think about my process and rebuilding my business from scratch. This has not been fun by any means. I would have much rather just went ahead and run my white glove business that had 10 trucks and just pick up where they left off. Rebuilding my business from scratch has cost a lot of time equity, sweat equity, money equity, and a lot of sacrifices. I wouldn't recommend it for anybody. But I welcome the hard things. That's the mindset shift. Anybody else, you could have thinking of, oh man, that's going to take so much work. Oh, I don't want to do that. You weren't meant to do it. And that's why you're not going to. But what a journey. That's all I can say is what a journey it has been. And to think that 3 months ago, again, we had 0 trucks running. Didn't even have my LLC reinstated. Didn't even have an active DOT or MC. And now we are a full-fledged operating trucking business, making money, doing the service, doing the thing. And again, I just can't wait to see where this business is at a year from now. At the rate we're going, granted, I do have my baby on the way. That is going to play a factor. And I might just stop. That's the thing. It's completely up to me what I want to do. I might just stop completely adding trucks. I do have that option. My only goal was really to just get my 4 trucks I own back up and running. But again, when the opportunity starts knocking, I'm going to answer the door. I'm going to answer the door every time. Between these accounts and these 3PLs popping up need teams. Not only that, but the pay and the scope of work being worth it, along with the guys having previous experience and being solid dudes. Why wouldn't I go for it? Especially when I've got an assistant and a back end setup where I really don't have to do a whole lot. Yeah. But again, it takes time to get to this point. Don't think this was overnight. Do not think this is overnight. I basically have a master's degree. The way I did it, you might as well say a PhD. I got a PhD in final mile white glove between knowing how to do the work, knowing how the business operates, knowing the psychology of the guys, what these 3PL companies want, what the retailers want, how the business relationships are set up. This is not overnight. Don't even think for 1 second that it was. But I'm pulling up almost to the Ryder now, to the account here. And this one was actually a hard one to find. This was a hard one to find. I think I actually ended up going on LinkedIn. I went on LinkedIn to find just any contact at all. And then it turned out the person I actually ended up reaching out to was no longer even with Ryder. He was no longer even with Ryder, but he was still, generous enough to still give me the contact info for the person, I guess, stepped in his position. So I reached out to him, got a hold of him, and this actually all happened like 2 or 3 months ago. And so now, fast forward, I end up hitting him back up, like I said, needing to add teams, add trucks. And he had a need also. So we're meeting in the middle. And then getting in contact with his recruiter. He ended up passing on the contact information for his recruiter, which just passed my contact info on for the person over the Alabama market. But just how one thing leads to the next. But you gotta be hungry. You gotta be hungry. And that's what I mean. I will do whatever it takes. I won't stop. I won't stop until I get it. And that's what the kind of stuff that has always separated me from the rest. And it's the fact that you have the choice. You have the choice to be that go-getter, that hungry, or not. Oh, it didn't work out. I guess it's not for me. Bump that. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? But before I go on a tangent, I'm cutting right there. I'm pulling up to the Ryder here in a minute. And just looking forward to this doc visit. Got some calls lined up for today. And we're just going to see what this doc is talking about. All right. And so following up on my visit to the Ryder last mile doc, obviously today is actually a whole nother day, but I didn't get a chance to even finish the video just because I had so much stuff pop up while that visit was going on. Ended up being like a 3-hour visit. I'm not even sure, but what it probably should have taken an hour took really about 3 hours, almost 2 hours and 45 minutes, just because there was so much conversation and whatnot. It ended up being me, the general manager, and 2 other guys were there that were contractors or aspiring to be contractors. And it was a good account. Straightforward. The account, the work. Once you see, that's the thing too. I've been doing this stuff so long, it's all the same to me. It's all the same. The only thing that makes this one different is the general manager is a very on-foot person. He is not an office guy. And he's a straight-up dude. But it's the fact that he recognizes this is the part that you cannot beat. He recognizes that people have lives outside of these trucks and these routes. Not a lot of these companies have people that realize and understand that. And so he's just extremely reasonable. And that makes him easy to work with. It's somebody I would actually want to partner with and work with. Of course, he was even so transparent. He let us know, the percentage margin that the account takes off the top. And I'm pretty sure it was around 40%, which is kind of crazy to think about. These companies are making almost the same amount of money that the carriers are, but take on little to no risk and obviously have much less overhead, not paying for trucks, drivers, helpers, insurance, diesel, and obviously any claims. Like I said, they take little to no risk because it just gets passed on to the contractor. And so hearing that, of course, it does make it hard, but you gotta know your place. You gotta know your place. And that's what I'll say for this business. For anybody who's in it, don't be afraid to reach out to furniture and appliance retailers directly. The little stores, don't sleep on the mom and pop stores. Don't sleep on the mom and pop stores because they need people to deliver their stuff too. And that's how you get your direct contract. And that's how you get, obviously, almost double the pay. Instead of working for $50, $60 a stop, $70 a stop on a high end account, you're looking at $100 to $200 per stop. And obviously your profit margins will be just a lot higher and a lot better. And you'll be able to not only that, but you can actually grow the business and reinvest back into it 2 times over. But that's besides the point. That's for people. That's conversations for people who really, really diving into this stuff. Because with that, you're also usually handling inventory. You can negotiate that stuff at the store. I know I'm getting really nitty gritty right now. I'm not even gonna go down that rabbit hole. But either way, the visit to the Ryder doc was great. I'm basically just reaching out to him now actually to see what next steps are. Because if I get this account going, there would be no reason for me to not get the other account in Alabama going. Because it's all under the same umbrella. So looking forward to that. And again, just get my 4 trucks. We'll see. My main goal for rebuilding the business was honestly just to get my 4 trucks up and running again and document that process. And obviously, if we end up getting past that point, so be it. It was never really the intention. But I do have some guys in the works, my old managers looking to come back. And so there is room for growth and scalability. That's the other part too with this business. Is there's just so much opportunity everywhere. But you have to figure out your focus. You can see it as opportunity, but it can also be a distraction if you know there's something else you should be doing. And I'm definitely being called right now to coach, to help people systemize their business in this space. And that's what I want to do. So again, right now, it's actually the next day. We still got 2 trucks going right now with Spirit Logistics. And yeah, working towards 4. Once I get those 4 situated, I probably will slow down. Obviously, with my baby on the way too, it'll probably be around the same time. So it'll probably work out just perfect if I can line things up just right. But I'm actually headed to the warehouse right now with Spirit Logistics to dig some details into a claim that just came through my email. But that's another topic for another day. Ryder account was great. Looking forward to that one. Also got some stuff with RES Logistics we're working on. Recruiting guys, get with my assistant, and just keeping the business flowing. Right now we're just at this sweet spot where we are just in a growth phase. We're in a growth phase, and it's just a slowly but surely. There's not really a lot of major things that'll happen in a day besides, somebody getting their drug screen, somebody getting cleared. That's always good news. But really not a lot right now. But that's it for this video. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and be sure to hit the links in the description. If you're struggling to get your final mile business either started, grow it, or scale it, you're stuck at 2 trucks, you're stuck at 5, you're stuck at 10, and you want to double up, hit the link in the description, and let's get that thing going. Peace.